folks. How's everybody doing tonight? Good. I don't know why I do this. Welcome to tonight's class. Appreciate it. Tonight is MasterClass number 7, Mastering Hormone Balancing. Does everybody know that? Everybody know why they're here tonight? Okay, good. We do these master classes. We do these master classes every third Wednesday of every month, and our topics are all posted on our website. But I can tell you right now what's coming up in the next few months. So in August next month, we're going to do mastering anti-aging. September is going to be mastering sleep health. I know this is a very relevant topic for some people. And then October is going to be mastering pain with Chinese herbalism. November is mastering the ketogenic diet. A lot of questions around that, so we're going to do a repeat. We've talked about that once before, but we're going to talk about it again in October. All of our classes are recorded on our YouTube channel. If you don't know this, and if you want to go back through, if you miss anything tonight, we're going to put all of this content on our YouTube channel. You can listen to it again and again, or forward it to your friends, but it's there forever. What's more is, again, you can sign up for these classes online or in store. And if you find this at all helpful and relevant and useful, bring a friend next time. Spread the word. Get something to find out. There's a lot of space in this area. We've had up to 75 people in this little tiny area, so we're not even near full capacity. And then every time we offer little refreshments to the group. So if you haven't yet passed by the refreshments table, please do so. Okay. That being said, we have tonight a featured guest here, Dr. Sean Patterson. He's going to step up here in a minute. I want you folks just to know that he's going to talk about mastering hormone balancing. But I know you guys likely have questions unique to you, individual, personal questions, and I would really encourage you to ask those at the end. We're going to allow for a lot of time to do some Q&A. All right, so if you have any questions that pop up during, or if you have any burning right now, please hold those to the end. We will answer those at the end, okay? But without further ado, Dr. Sean Patterson of Body Restore in El Dorado Hills. He comes to us with 17 years in private practice. He has spent 10,000 hours helping people just like you with their unique biorhythmic individual health situations, sorting and organizing and coaching people to their best version, all right? He's very good at it. He's been doing it for a very long time. He also has his own personal weight loss journey, losing 60 pounds himself, so he knows, what that feels like to do that and accomplish that and have success and failures too. Also, he's written a book, The Pre-Diet, everything you need to know before you start your diet. Okay. What's more, he had a live radio show on Sacramento 105.5 that was on everything health and money. So he's well versed at talking to people through these topics as well. Okay. So again, without further ado, I'm going to bring up Dr. Sean Patterson. Welcome, please.
Hey everybody, so thank you for coming to the seminar on recycled water. Work out, it's up here like on the stage with me. Who reads the Sacramento Bee ever? Nobody? Well, you guys should, once in a while, just for entertainment, right? But there was an article about Susie, the orangutan from the Sacramento Zoo. You guys ever go to the Sacramento Zoo? See the orangutan? She sits on the hammock, she's got a little blanket, she kind of sits there, and kids love her, they do field trips. And so the article went on to talk about Susie passed away about 3 weeks ago. You guys didn't hear this on the news? It was a pretty popular thing because it's a big attraction to the zoo, which is nonprofit. So Susie passed away, and they were scrambling to figure out how to get another orangutan. And they're from Sumatra. Don't worry, y'all understand why I'm telling the story. They're from Sumatra. They're about $300,000. And it takes about 3 weeks to get a new one. So the zoo was in a really, really stressful situation. They put an ad out for anyone that knows anything about orangutans, or anyone who wants to know anything around orangutans. There was a gentleman who had just retired. He lived over in Sun City, Lincoln. You guys know where Sun City is? Who here's retired? You got to keep busy once you retire, right? Because retiring doesn't mean you're not busy anymore. In fact, everybody I know who retires tends to get more busy than they were when they were working. But anyhow, Doug Carlson has recently retired. He applied for the job of orangutan specialist. Why did they need an orangutan specialist? Because they had to figure out how to convert the live kind of displays with information while they waited for their new Lucy, their new orangutan. So Doug goes to training. They give him a box of VHS tapes and says, learn everything you can about an orangutan. You guys remember VHS tapes? Who still has a VHS player? It's either somebody who has toddlers and they like to stick crayons in those things, you know, they put the videotapes in there still. But anyhow, he watches all the VHS tapes and he becomes pretty oriented with an orangutan. 30 hours of VHS tapes. It's like watching Discovery Channel for 30 hours about orangutan. So once Doug was up to speed on the orangutans, the article went on to say, next, Bob Peterson, the Sacramento Zoo operations supervisor, came out and said, okay, here's what we need you to do now. And he handed him a monkey suit. Okay? Yeah, you guys see some of these monkey suits, they look really good. And some of them are so close you really cannot tell the difference. You guys ever seen these? You know, I've seen the ape ones, the orangutan ones are a little more rare. But these suits are thousands of dollars. So they said, look, Doug, all you gotta do is sit there on the hammock with your blankie and act like you're Lucy for about 3 weeks till we get to new Lucy. I mean, have you guys been to the zoo? You're not like right up close. You're about from me to you over there. So it's not hard to sell that. A little unethical, I would think, but it's a Sacramento thing we're talking about, right? Reporting on this. So anyhow, Doug says, great, I'll do it. So his first day on the job, he's got 3 weeks to do this till we get the new orangutan. So Doug's sitting on his hammock, and he looks over, and there's the lion pit right next door. All the kids are there. School bus after school bus. You guys been to the zoo, right? All the kids. So it's a high energy place. So he wants to see why everybody's crowded around over there. Nobody's looking at him. So he kind of gets up off his hammock and kind of walks over. And he looks. And as he moves, all of a sudden a couple people come over. Hey, look at Lucy's moving. And he notices, like, hey, that's kind of fun. And he says, well, what would happen if I walk around a little bit more? And he walks around, more people start to come. He says, well, there's some monkey bars. What if I jump up there and start swinging? So he jumps up on the monkey bar, starts swinging. Guess what happens? More people start coming, right? Why is that? Energy attracts energy, right? Next thing you know, he decides, well, I'm going to show that lion what's really going on. So he starts swinging back and forth, just like we would all assume a monkey would, right? Except orangutans don't do that. They sit on their hammocks and they're more ground. You know, they don't do the lions like the big apes. Anyhow, swinging and swinging and swinging, everything's going great. More people are coming. He's enjoying himself, you know, not getting too crazy, until his hand slips and he falls over the partition into the lion's den. Okay. Probably not good in the wild. Sumatran orangutan, African lion. They're not buddies, right? So the lion turns around, looks at the orangutan, and he is just fear-stricken. Mothers are shielding the eyes of their children. Teachers are trying to get their students out of there. The lion starts to come around the corner, like teeth showing, right? Like it's dinner time. They usually feed those things in the evening. It's late in the day. He's hungry. Comes around the corner, rears up. At the last second, right before he goes to chomp the Sumatran orangutan, Doug, the orangutan, starts yelling, "Don't eat me! Don't eat me!" The last second, the lion looks at him and says, "Shut up or you're going to get us both fired." So the point of the story is that what? Energy attracts energy, right? The more Doug was moving, the more people were coming. Silly little story, but it really does kind of make us think that when we sit on a hammock and do nothing, we sit on the couch and do nothing, we're not really treating our bodies very well, right? So you guys all jumped off your hammocks and came into Elliot's tonight to learn about energy, right? Why do we want to know about energy? Because we're all tired, right? Who here is tired? Raise your hand. Come on. Who here has a chronic ache and pain? Raise your hand. Who here is tired or has a chronic ache and pain? Raise your hand. And if you're not raising your hand, you probably have a shoulder problem. That's the reason why. Okay, so hormone balance. We want to master hormones, right? What are hormones? They're ways body talks to itself, right? So you have your nervous system, which is electricity, and then you have hormones, which are chemical communicators. So one organ of your body talks to another organ through hormones, okay? So we want a hormone balance. What should we expect when our hormones are balanced? More or less energy? More. Better metabolism or slower metabolism? Better, stronger, faster, right? Healthier cravings or sick cravings? Yeah. Who here has sick cravings? What are sick cravings? Sugar, right? Carbohydrates. So what are carbohydrates? Which is sugar, right? So here's what's funny. Most people, when they're stressed, crave sugar. Who here craves something else besides sugar when they're stressed out? What do you crave? Salt. On what? You don't just eat the salt, right? It's got to be on some sort of salt transport system like a potato chip, right?
I just want savory or salty than I am sweet, because I
Yeah.
don't really feel it.
Here's what's interesting. Rice cakes, chips, salty things that are made of carbohydrate turn to sugar faster than table sugar turns to sugar in the blood. Isn't that wild? So we think, well, it's fat-free, right? My potato chips are baked, they're fat-free. My crackers are gluten-free, fat-free, everything free, right? But those are going to turn to glucose quicker than your white table sugar will. So you might as well eat the white table sugar. So, no, when our hormones are balanced, then we have appropriate cravings. We eat when our body needs it, we eat the right things, our metabolism naturally goes into balance, and we're in our healthy, natural weight. Okay? So, you guys hear body type thing in here? Body type stages is the official name. So we're going to talk about the adrenal one up on top tonight. There's 4 stages we like to talk about, 4 body types. But tonight, for our hormone mastery, we're going to talk about the adrenal hormones, because those are the hormones that deal with what? Stress. What is stress? Yeah, life. Stress isn't bad. Life is supposed to have stress. Do you know we get stronger with stress? If I lift 40-pound dumbbells all day long, guess what? My body learns to lift 50-pound dumbbells, right? It gets stronger. If I get sick, what happens to my immune system? I get healthier. I get stronger immune system. But when it becomes chronic stress, that's when we're in trouble. If we chronically overwork our muscles, if we chronically get sick, then we get the downside. So the adrenal body is going to be the one on the top here. The body distortion is going to go from a healthy, well-rounded body to a body that has a lot of abdominal fat. That pendulous abdominal fat. Does that make sense? It's usually around the belly button. It's got a few nicknames that don't sound so flattering, but it's going to be the cortisol belly fat. You guys heard of cortisol? Okay. So we're going to talk about the adrenal body. Aches and pains are your chronic adrenal body. If you go home and get your magnifying glass, you can read some of this. Fatigue, insomnia, anxiety, what else? Craving for salt, cheese, chocolate, and sugar. Brain fog. Who here has brain fog? What's brain fog? You're looking for your sunglasses in there on your head. You're looking for your keys in there in your hand. You guys ever call somebody and it starts to ring and then you forget who you're calling? Yeah, that's brain fog, right? Fight or flight. So why do we have a fight or flight system? What's the whole point of adrenal glands? What's that? Yeah, survival, fight or flight. So if Lucy falls over the partition and the lion's about to eat her, do you think she wants to relax and sleep and digest lunch, or do you think she wants to get the heck out of there? Right. So you hear about moms lifting cars off children. You guys seen a cheetah run 65 miles an hour and the gazelle run from it? That's fight or flight. But here's how nature works. We're going along the rhythms of life, and all of a sudden, oh my goodness, there's a bear or a cheetah or a tiger, and we have to get out of danger quickly, okay? So we go into fight or flight mode. That make sense? And then what happens after we're out of danger? Yeah, we go rest. No matter whether the lion gets the gazelle or not, or the gazelle gets eaten or not, it's going to rest afterwards, one way or the other, right? And you see them, they just lie down, and and I've even seen it like those, like the National Geographic documentaries. They'll be lying from me to Mr. Ryan over there. they'll just be looking at each other like, hey, we gave it our best, it didn't work out, we're going to recover. But what do North Americans do? Do we? Yeah. But then we keep running. And then we do marathons, right? Then we do ultra marathons, right? So here's what we do. We don't ever really have, most of the time, our day-to-day is not life or death situations, right? There's no cheetah or bear trying to get you. I can maybe eat the pile. Those bears are pretty lazy though. They just want the garbage cans. But what we don't do is we don't go to the extreme and then recover. What do? We get stuck in this low-level fight or flight. So it's never really high and it's never really low. It's this kind of 40% low-level fight or flight. And what does that do over time? That's why you're all here to learn, right? It causes us to have chronic weight problems because our cortisol, our primary stress hormone, is dysregulated. It's not flowing right. It's supposed to go up and down, but it's just kind of doing this all the time, just low-level fight or flight. So then we get the abdominal belly fat, right? And then what does it do to sugar cravings when we're in a stressful situation? We need quick energy. We want to digest that great, organic, maybe vegan, maybe not, grass-fed, this, that, all that healthy food, or does it want quick sugar to get out of danger? It wants quick sugar to get out of danger, right? So what is it going to crave? Refined carbohydrate or sugar, right? So does that make sense why our cravings would be wrong when we're in a low-level fight or flight? What else? Does our body care about sleeping when we're stressed? No. So who here likes to wake up at 2 in the morning? See, I think now I got all the hands up between the 2 in the morning. So why does that happen, you guys? What have you been told? Who wakes up at 2 in the morning? What have you been told? Why do you wake up at 2? Just like it? Moves out, it's beautiful. Yeah, here's most of the time what I find. Liver holds our stored sugar, right? But if we're always burning up our stored sugar, we can't store enough because we're always stressed, we don't have any stored sugar. That's your battery. What happens when your battery runs out in the middle of the night? You run out of sugar stored in your liver, your brain goes, oh my gosh, I'm out of sugar. So what does it release to get your blood sugar up? What major stress hormone? Cortisol. Cortisol's supposed to show up about 6 to 8 a.m. to wake us up. But what happens if it shows up at 2 a.m.? Bing, you wake up, right? And then you start thinking about tomorrow's issues and what you got to do, and next thing you know, we're done, right? We're in trouble, our mind's spinning. So anybody ever have that happen? So half the time, at least, it's blood sugar. So this is one of those write down moments, or store it, or tell the person next to you to write it down, or text it to yourself, but don't forget, the right snack before bed can fix that problem in half the people I see. So out of thousands of people for almost 20 years, half the people that can't sleep right, that wake up in the night, I just tell them, hey, eat a little celery and almond butter. What kind of nut butters you got around here? You got all kinds, right?
Almond, cashew.
I mean, of course, we have peanut, right? But peanut, you got to be careful because that's really not a nut. What is a peanut? It's a bean, right? It's a legume. It's fine if it works for you, but just be careful of too much peanut. So you want to cycle your nut butter. But I'm telling you, go over there, get a nut butter tonight, 2 tablespoons. Don't take the jar to the couch. That's what I do. I get myself in trouble with that one. Because my tablespoons are a little bigger than yours. But 2 tablespoons, and what is the best nut butter transport system besides a spoon? Celery. He's got it. 4 stalks organic celery. I mean, if it's not organic, okay, it's still celery. But try to get organic. You got organic celery around here?
Yes, we do.
There we go. 2 tablespoons nut butter, 4 stalks of organic celery. Minerals, protein, fat. That should give you enough to get through the night. 50% of the time. People are saying, well, I'm still waking up early, 5 or 6. That's a whole lot better than 2 though, right? Because you can kind of get on with your life at 5 or 6. So, all right, there's your gem number 1. So I'm going to test you on the gems tonight. You got to leave here with 1, please. Leave here with 1 gem. If you don't leave here with 1 gem, you didn't ask a question pertaining to yourself or the person sitting next to you. So make sure you ask a question. And please, as things come up, raise your hand. So, that is the sleep part of the adrenals. Everybody get that? But why are we waking up? Why is our blood sugar like that? Why is our liver not holding enough stored sugar? What is the reason again? You guys all told me to start this. Stress, right? Who here has stress? Okay, we all should have stress. But who here has stress that's causing problems? That's where it gets like, you know? So some of us know it, like, hey, I'm going through a season right now. Like, what are things that stress you guys out?
Father, it's long-term care.
Yes, aging parents, right? Yeah, aging parents is a big one. I happen to see most of my patients are between about 48 and 58 years old. You know, that's just the average. I see everybody. But guess what specifics of life are really affecting people? You know? Yeah, aging parents and still have kids, like college kids a lot of times. So you're like, oh my gosh. And anybody trying to work too, you know? Pay a few bills, right? Eat healthy, get a little exercise, right? So we're all kind of stressed out. So when we have too much stress, our fight or flight does what? Low level fight or flight. So we know it messes up our sleep. You think you're going to burn a lot of fat at night when you're waking up with low blood sugar? No, you're not, because you're going to release cortisol. It's going to dysregulate your belly. It's going to make you crave sugar throughout the day. So then we need caffeine to wake up, and we need wine to calm down, right? Here's the problem. Who likes their wine at night? Come on. Who likes their wine at night? It just tastes so good at night, right? But there's no metabolic pathway for alcohol except for fat storage. Unless you're like on the treadmill drinking. Seriously. I mean, that's the truth. But a little's okay, right? It does have health benefits. But we read these studies that wine's healthy, I'm gonna drink wine. The Italians are healthy, right? Well, but they're not always stuck in the low level fight or flight until they come to America, right? And then it becomes a whole different thing. So wine, alcohol, probably not the best thing before bed if you're waking up at 2 in the morning. All right, what other things are stresses? So that's emotional stress, right? Parents, children, IRS, work, person sitting next to you right now, that's all emotional stress, right? What else? That's only one of 6 stresses that will cause low level fight or flight. Those are normal things, right? But sometimes we have too many of those going, that's all. Or sometimes we have too many varieties of stress. So what other varieties of stress? What else is stressing you guys out? Body. Pain, right? Okay. Why do we have pain? Could be structural, posture, old injuries, concrete work every day. Who here does manual labor? Anybody? We're used to? What you do?
No, Gary.
Oh yeah, that stuff's heavy, right? Those trays get heavy. I know my manual carrier. She delivers all that Amazon stuff now too, right? I order these big steel things. She's walking up with this.
They give us all the big stuff, but they give their people that little envelopes.
Yes.
Well,
Well, they know you're strong.
And we're stressed.
Yeah. So that's structural stress, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I lifted this 70 times today.
It's gonna hurt tomorrow tonight.
But now that can be a positive thing for you if the rest of your hormones are balanced. Because your brain just says, hey, she needs to be a little stronger. Let's make her stronger. Let's burn some more calories. But if your body's too stressed, it won't. It will start to give chronic problems and hurt all the time, right? So that's not good. So we have structural stress. We have emotional stress. What about toxins? Anybody ever hear of toxins? What are toxins?
Well, I just found out that I've been exposed to mold for years.
Yeah, mold can be a toxin, right? Well, it is, and we're all allergic to it, but some bodies are really sensitive to it based on genetic precursors and things like that. So there's molds, there's diesel fuel in the air, there's cleaning products, there's all kinds of things we're exposed to. Vaccinations have a lot of added things in them that are toxic to us. Medications are toxic. Everything has a time and a place, but toxins are a big deal, right? Especially in the Sacramento region, we have a lot of toxins in our air, and the foothills, it just kind of sits here and it's hot. So,
You guys are better than today.
yeah.
I just looked up today. I can breathe better up here.
There you go. Isn't that funny? But I see people every day who move here from the Bay and their allergies kick in and they've been stuck for 20 years. So allergies and sensitivities are another one, right? Okay, so he probably breathes better because there's less chemical exposure than the Bay, but there's probably more pollens and things like that. Maybe his body says, oh, I love pollen, it's great, I'll breathe it all day long. So who here has the pollen and tree mold or tree pollen? Oh my goodness, that's wow. So we have emotions, we have toxins, we have allergy sensitivities, we have structural problems. We have our food. Yellow number 5, blue leg 40, trans fats, partially hydrogenated oils, all that stuff, right? You guys would never do that because you're in Elliot's, you know. But the rest of the world, they eat that stuff, right? So oils, fast food, you know, the oils are used over and over and over, and they become trans fats, which just mean they get in our body and they cause a mess. They just hack things up. Okay, so there's lots of stress in our Northern American lifestyle, right? And the problem with this stress is if we have too much in and not enough out, we are not balanced, correct? So then what do we do to balance out stress, guys? Work out. Well, workout can be advantageous. It also can be a problem, right? That's where it gets really tricky. And we you have to have the right information for your body. You have to have the right coaching. If you don't, you may be doing CrossFit and you're getting strong and you're getting lean, but you're completely destroying your immune system. So you're getting migraines and allergies and you're craving sugar all the time. Or you may be walking 50 miles a week, but your body needs high intensity interval training. Okay, so it's not going to work for you. So exercise is a good one, but it can also be a problem too. Just like healthy food can be good, right? Organic food can be good, unless you're allergic to things and don't know it. Okay, so there's lots of things. So I've spent 19 years figuring out that everybody in this room is different. I could give you all like a cookie cutter kind of thing, like, hey, walk a little bit, cut down on alcohol, take some supplements, do more rest, right? Everybody's going to benefit from those things to a degree. But then we have our unique signatures, like who are the back pain in the room people?
Injury.
What's that?
Injury, though.
Injury, how long ago? Within the last 6 weeks?
No, 2 years ago, or sorry, 2 years ago, but I just recently been treated since February and almost fully recovered from it now, but there's still some
Excellent.
pains that hurt.
So when I hear something like that, I hear that every single day in my career. Okay, but here's the nervous system. Here's how it works. If I grab a hot frying pan and I burn my hand, how long will my hand hurt for?
What?
Up to 6 weeks for those tissues to heal, right? If I break my arm, how long do I wear a cast for? 6 weeks. If I get my arm chopped off and they sew back on, which does happen to people, right? Industrial accidents. 6 to 12 weeks, that thing's kind of functional if there's no infection. Okay? When I hear somebody says, 10 years ago, I was in a car accident, my neck's hurt ever since, is that normal or abnormal? Yeah, 2 years ago, normal or abnormal? Abnormal.
I have a reverse curvature and hypertrophy. Told you this.
So Dr. John Sarno is 90-something years old, taught at the New York School of Medicine. He's done thousands and thousands and thousands of MRIs and X-rays on people with no back pain. Guess what percentage of them have slip disc, herniated disc, compression fractures, scoliosis, reverse curves, all that. All the chiropractic lingo. Trust me, I'm a chiropractor, I know the lingo. 70%. No pain. No history of pain. So what we
what's
learn.
pressing on the nerve that's causing
Well, that's
pain?
more, we're not going to get too far off into
Okay,
that.
well,
But
that's the back
here's
pain
the
I'm
thing.
talking about.
That is abnormal pain. No matter how we slice it. If you're injured, you have pain. After 6 to 8 weeks, the nervous system will adjust and pain should shut off unless there's different stresses that meld together. So this is where stress is interesting. So we get things like, you guys have heard of post-traumatic stress disorders, PTSD. That's a big kind of diagnosis, right? But we all have these little micro ones. So let's say I'm at work and I'm really stressed out and something falls on my foot, okay? But let's say my diet's not been good that week, I'm really emotionally stressed out, I have some allergies to mold that I've been exposed to, all these things at the same time, and then I have a big trauma, like I break my toe. Well, now what happens often is the brain gets a little confused, and it melds all that together, and it says, oh, well, your toe's healed, but that allergy thing you had is now part of the syndrome. You guys heard of syndromes? Fibromyalgia syndrome, there's all these chronic fatigue syndrome. Syndrome just means these things are all grouped together now, and unfortunately you have to pull them apart to make the pain go away because the brain's confused.
The receptors stay engaged, basically. The pain receptor.
Yeah, but it only takes 10% of oxygen reduction to a joint, a muscle, or a nerve to cause the most severe pain there is. 10% is just like me squeezing my arm. This is not traumatic, but it can cause severe pain. So what happens is our brain gets confused, right? Our brain gets confused. And unfortunately, it gets misdiagnosed a lot, right? Like, oh, you have back pain, so you have a structural problem, or you have migraines, so you have a brain problem, you have sleep problem, you have an insomnia problem. Somebody here has every menstruation or amenorrhea or really PMS, oh, you have an OB problem. And the reality is, everybody knows how to fix everything you have, right? It just needs the right information and diagnosis. So this is where it gets very specific to people. So, for instance, how am I doing on time, Ryan? Because I want to make sure I have lots of Q&A that's specific. What time is it?
6:35.
Okay, so here's the thing. What gets even more fun in understanding this is how the body works. The body's fascinating. So would you agree that every answer you need you already have, whether you know it or not? Right? And then if you're even a spiritual person, you say, well, if I don't know it, then my higher power knows it, right? So, but somehow, some way, I will argue and bet my life that you guys all have the information you need to be well within yourselves. The question is, are you accessing it, right? Or do you understand what your body's telling you? So when you have 2 years of pain or 10 years, I've had people with 30-year migraines that was remedied by very simple things. They had allergies to tomatoes. They're Italian, they eat tomatoes at least every 3 days for 30 years. I say, quit eating tomatoes, their pain goes away. Why is that? Well, they had a delayed allergy in their gut to tomatoes. It took 3 days to show up. By the time they hurt, they didn't even know it had anything to do with food because their gut didn't hurt, but their joints did. There's all these kind of crazy things. So, for instance, like right now, what's a chronic one? Who here has chronic shoulder pain? Anybody have a shoulder pain or an elbow or something that we're trying now? So Jennifer does? Jennifer, right?
Yes.
How long has it been there for?
Since 16.
Okay. So even if you broke it, mashed it, steamrolled it, cut it off, sewed it back on, it shouldn't be in pain because it's as good as it's going to get, right? According to the brain, so it should turn the pain off. But obviously there's things melded together there. Who here has something that hurts right now? What hurts right now?
The pinched nerve.
That pinched nerve. What hurts right now?
I had surgery 8 years ago.
8 years.
I have nerve damage.
Yeah. So nerve damage should just mean things don't work the same, but it doesn't mean you should have pain because pain's like grabbing a hot frying pan. Once you let go, it should stop hurting. Does that make sense? And this is basic neurology, guys. But we're so fancy in Northern America with all our medical care. We create so much confusion and syndromes and this and that. And here's the reality. Our bodies are very simple. If we don't listen to them, they turn the volume up on our pain, right? What's a good way to get our attention? Pain, right? Pain is a great way to get your attention. That's why when you grab the hot frying pan, it tells you really quick. If you let go, you go, ooh, I got away with it. It's not that bad. I don't need ice. What happens if you hold it too long? You did some tissue damage. It might take a few days to a few weeks to heal. So who here has a headache right now? You have a headache? You have a headache in the back? A little bit? Okay. Who here has a chronic extremity pain right now that's been there for longer than 6 months? Knee, elbow, shoulder. Hurts right now. You're sitting here and you go, I can feel it right now. You're more complicated now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot going.
This one's going okay though, but it's only been about 4 months since I've been with her, so
There you go.
it's almost been.
Who else right now? Because Q&A, do you want to understand why your pain hurts? Or why your pain's there? I'd love to do live demonstrations. So who here has a headache or shoulder pain or back pain or something simple that hurts, but it's been there a while? More than 6 weeks. Did you hurt it the last 6 weeks? But it hurts right now? Maybe you're allergic to me. Would you like to know what your body's telling you?
Yes.
Be brave. Would you like to step into my office? Come on. What's your name? Cindy? Cindy, Dr. Sean Patterson, come on in my office. Public, this is Cindy. Cindy, this is the public. All right. So, I see these kind of things every day, and here is how amazing the body is, but how simple it communicates. Cindy's body's trying to tell her something through some pain, right? What could it mean? It could mean, I don't like how you're sitting. It could mean, I don't like what that guy is saying. It could mean, I don't like what you ate 3 days ago. We don't really know. But have you had any trauma in the last 6 weeks to your neck? Nope. Where does it hurt? Right there, that right trap. Give me a 0 to 10. 10 is the worst pain you've ever had.
Oh, right now it's probably just like a 2.
Can I touch it?
Sure.
So 2 out of 10, well that's not very exciting. If it was 8 or 9 it'd be more fun, but then she'd be crying, so we don't want that. 2 out of 10, pain right here, but no reason why. No injury in the last 6 weeks. So by the way the nervous system works, there shouldn't be any pain there, right? She's having a trauma. So what I do, okay, well I'm trained as a chiropractor, so why not? I'll just feel the muscles. They feel the same left to right to me. I'm gonna see how it moves. It goes through great range of motion. I don't know why it hurts. Why does it hurt, right? But so there's lots of ways the body communicates, right? Through its acupressure system, its acupuncture system, unconscious mind. Really good poker players know what about their opponents. They're looking for what? Tells, subtle things. It could be a tapping, it could be a heart rate, it could be the pulse, it could be the color of the skin. It could be so many things, the way they move. So I'm trained in a lot of different ways of looking at the body. I'm pretty good at poker too because of it too. But so what we're gonna do is, that okay if I touch here? So we're gonna have you touch right here, put your finger on it. So we're gonna say, hey brain, do you know we're all electrical? We all conduct electricity. So this is an electrical ball. Okay, it's got a broken circuit. If I complete the circuit, you guys see and hear it? So, sir, if you touch that piece of metal firmly, put your finger on it, why didn't anything happen? We didn't complete the survey, so keep your finger on it. Oh, keep your finger on it, no cheating. Now, give me this hand. Do you see? Put that finger back. Do you see how we conduct? Sir, touch that, just to make sure this is not a trend. Okay, but nothing's happening, right? Are you guys together? Oh, grab onto his arm. Squeeze him good. But nothing's happening. Push firm until. See how we conduct? You guys see? So we conduct electricity, the body same way. So all I'm going to do is say, hey, fingers of electricity touch what you're trying to tell me. And this is just basic stuff, right? What does this mean? I don't know. So while she's touching that, I'm going to touch some of her acupressure points, acupuncture points. You know, everybody knows our heart's here, right? So if I, everybody touch over your point, so her heart's here. When I touch that, it feels like a normal heart rhythm to me. I feel her pulse, I feel the temperature, I feel the tone. If I touch her thyroid, that's a whole different story. So right away I go, oh, I got lucky. Now given, I could feel temperature changes, like, rub your hand back and forth. You guys feel the wind on your hand? So I'm just really sensitive to that. I just feel energy frequency, just like radio stations, right? Ryan said I was on the radio for a bit. If you tuned into 105.1, you would not hear me. If you just went click, click to 105.5, all of a sudden you hear my big loud mouth. Why is that? Frequency. Does that make sense? So right now, I'm speaking, it's creating waves, they're going into your ears, and whether you like it or not, I'm making the little hairs in your ears vibrate so you hear me. I mean, you can try to plug your ears all you want, I'll just yell louder, right? Your eyes are seeing me, seeing color, they're resonating in a frequency. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and just say, hey, and I'm not going to explain so much why, that's all in-office stuff, and we don't want to get too much into the way this all works, but I'm just trying to prove a point that her body knows what it's talking about, that she might not know what her body's talking about. Okay? And let's say this gets louder and louder because she doesn't do anything. Let's say 5 years go by and now she has chronic neck pain. 5 years of chronic neck pain. Anybody have years of chronic something? And she goes to the medical doctor, which isn't a bad place to start, right? They're looking for life-threatening things, right? But the reality is if you go to a medical doctor, typically what are you going to get? Medication, maybe surgery, maybe physical therapy, maybe imaging, but usually medication. Well, if her brain's trying to tell her her thyroid's not happy, but her thyroid labs are normal, what do we do, right? Anybody ever have thyroid labs look normal? Sometimes they're not normal. Blood is just a picture. So anyhow, all we're going to do is we're going to tell her to, so her thyroid seems a little off to me. It feels a little non-energetic. So all I'm going to do is have you make it this. Over your thyroid gland right there. You guys know what the thyroid gland does in the hormone system? And I'm just going to stimulate the spinal pathways and the muscles behind your thyroid because that makes the brain wake up. Thyroid. What does thyroid do? Metabolism, energy. The thyroid body you'll see there.
Hormone regulation.
Yeah. The thyroid affects 92% of the tissues in your body. Pretty important gland. Okay. But what we got to find about the thyroid is metabolism and energy, okay, and craving for sweet carbohydrate. If you're always craving those Starbucks cake pops or muffins or sweet things like that, that's usually that. So all I'm doing with her is I'm just saying, hey, if I stimulate her thyroid pathway, right, using a big ball of energy on her hand, will that make her shoulder feel better? So let go for me, take a big breath, and tell me if the pain got better, worse, or no change. Maybe a 2 to 1?
Sure.
So then what we do is if it works a little, it works a lot. So that tells me her brain likes what I did. Now, like I said, I like the 8 or 9 on a pain scale because it's so much easier to go, wow, that's much better. But when it's a 2, it's like, well, then your brain starts going, well, that couldn't have done anything. He's tapping on my back, and he's telling stories about orangutans, and like, there's no way, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the opposite side. Neurologically, I'm just going to push on the other side. And she has a nice trigger point right there. And I never look them in the eyes because I don't like to see people in pain. So, is that tender or I'm pushing?
Yes.
But she told me the other side hurt, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So what does this side hurt? How do you think it is?
Pushing on it.
But see how little I'm pushing? Here, you do. You're right there. Oh, see, it's interesting how even though it hurts, her brain didn't even direct her to the right spot. Just push it out a little bit for me. Just gentle. I wasn't pushing very hard. But what happens is the energy, her brain is a little confused with its communication system. But when she went to go touch where I was just pushing, she was off by like 3 inches. Why? Because pain is a very strange communication system. You gotta be right on the right frequency. Okay, take a big breath. And then give me a 0 to 10 right there. 0 is no pain. Okay. So, was that magical? Well, sure, a little bit. Come on, it's fun. A little Disney magic. What we're doing is we're just changing our body's electricity. What's your first name again? Cindy, really nice to meet you. Thank you for coming up. So what I would do, guys, thanks Cindy for coming up. Very brave. Thought it was a little embarrassing to come up. So what I would say is, hey, the brain's asking for a little bit of TLC in the thyroid system. Does that make sense? What does that mean? Could be very little. Could be just a little more iodine in your diet. Could. I mean, this is not for you, and I know this. It could be for some that you have pre-cancerous tissues in your thyroid, or cancerous tissues that are not palpable yet. And I've seen both. One could just be you might need more intense exercise to stimulate your thyroid hormones. One may be your adrenals are inhibiting your thyroid hormones. I don't know. In this setting, all I'm going to do is show you that your neck pain has very little to do with your neck. Who has a cat? Cat or dog? Cat or dog? Okay, go home, sneak up on it, and stand on its tail. Just stand. What will happen? It'll scream, right? It'll scream? Yes, yes. But that's not what the problem was. What was the problem? The tail. It's letting you know on this end, right? Big time. So that's the same kind of idea. Think of our chronic pain as the mouth screaming. And instead of silencing it, why don't we just get off the tail? Does that make sense? Anybody else here have any questions about their own personal health or their distant cousin or a neighbor or relative? He thinks you have something you'd like to add.
Well, yes. I have a pain track, and it's like commute. And
So you commute? How long?
yes, like 45 minutes each way.
How long does it take for it to start hurting?
It depends. Like in 20 minutes or so.
What hurts?
My performance, like right.
Pain in the butt.
Yes.
Yep.
pain.
You feel it
Right.
sitting here right now?
I do.
You want to step into my office?
Sure.
Chance. What's your first name?
Katrina.
Katrina and Kat. This is the public. This is Kat. Nice to meet you. Step into my office. I hope you don't mind pro bono care. I'm going to solve all life's worries right now. Have a seat. So,
Show me what you did.
this one. Wait. She walked away from you and all of a sudden it doesn't hurt anymore?
Exactly right.
Okay. So, I'm not going to be touching this one. She's going to touch this one. So put your hand where it hurts. And give me a 0 to 10 on the pain.
Like it's 3.
Right now it's 3 or 4. Okay, so here's what's interesting. Whenever we have a pain, we have a hurts here, right? So what do? We pull out the textbook, and if it's chiropractor, they say piriformis, sacroiliac, blah, blah, blah. If it's a medical doctor, they say strain. If it's a naturopathic doctor, maybe you need some more wheatgrass. If it's a, I'm just joking about it's all right. But the reality is, we don't know. All we know is she's got a hurts here, right? Have you been injured in the last 6 weeks? No trauma? No back dives gone wrong? No cake stands, falling on Monday night most stuff? Okay. No reason for pain, right? But she's got a pain in the butt. So her brain is trying to tell her something through that pain pathway, right? Somebody's stepping on the cat's tail and the cat's mouth is screaming. So we assume it's too much stress in, not enough stress out, right? So instead of reworking her whole life, why don't we just pinpoint? Wouldn't that be a better plan, you guys? Because I've written diet books, how to lose weight, all this stuff to the masses, but the reality is you're only going to get so far without individualized personal information. And then how long does that information last? It might be a week, and then your body needs more information. So some of you could come see me one time, one and done. You're doing really well in life, you're taking care of yourself, you just need a little bit of help. Some of you, you're going to need like 21 days of repatterning and changing some structural, emotional, toxic, allergy, nutritional, electromagnetic pathways. And then you're going to need another 21, and you're going to need 12 weeks. After, how many sets of 21 are in 12 weeks? Somebody help me. That's, yeah, 4. This guy right here is my math guy. After 4 cycles of repatterning, if you still have problems, we need to ship you out of North America because you're allergic to North America, right? But really, we should not need 20 years of trying to get well, okay? Who knows people that smoke their whole life and drink and live off McDonald's and live 97 years? That was my wife's grandpa, just passed. Grandma lives in Iowa. What do you eat in Iowa? Corn and soy, right? Drink a little, smoke a little. No California healthy living. 96 still drives herself in the snow. I mean, seriously, all the rules out the door. Eats bacon every day. And it's not even nitrite free, Ryan. Okay, 3 or 4 out of 10. Touch the spot. Good. Don't drill a hole in yourself. Just be nice. All right, sit tall, sit back. Okay, so I'm just going to take my hand without touch it. We're going to start up in our brain. So I'm just going to feel the top of our head. I'm going to feel the front of our pituitary gland. Oh, that feels nice. Our thyroid feels nice. Our thymus, our heart feels nice. We're going to slip down to the liver. Yeah. And the liver's happy, but when I slip right over to the gallbladder and the bile duct, more the gallbladder, it goes, oh, don't touch me there. So here's what's interesting. Bladder and gallbladders refer a lot of pain. Anybody here do chronic headaches or chronic sacroiliac pain? Usually those are the bladder people, the stress bladder. So you have a urinary bladder and a gallbladder. For some reason, they love to twist and torsion up the fascia. So what's fascia? You guys ever hear of fascia? It's like saran wrap. Everybody got it, right? Everybody knows fascia. Chicken breast, you're cleaning the chicken, those of you who eat chicken, and you see that clear, slimy, gross stuff, that's a fascia. It's connective tissue. It's very much communication. It's like how a radio station works. It sends out frequency, it receives frequency. So, when the gallbladder's cranked up, it'll tighten up. And let's say this tightens up. It's going to pull this way, it's going to pull down. So now if I lift my shoulder, oh, my shoulder's killing me. Do I have a shoulder problem? I have shoulder pain. Or if I just heal that gallbladder up. Does that make sense? Cat's tail, cat's mouth. Cat's mouth. So, you are going to take your fingers. I'm going to show you where to do it. You're going to inflict all the pain. So sit down. I want you to take your fingers right there. I want you to put the right hand there, and then I want you to cup it. So you double up those fingers like this. So double up those fingers. Like this. So I want you to, and I want you to push it at a 45-degree angle. And it will feel uncomfortable. Okay, good. A little uncomfortable? Okay, good. Push a little harder. Okay, good. You gotta have a little more fun. I want you to try to take a big deep breath in while you're doing that. Yeah, now it doesn't feel, because the gallbladder gets a little scarring sometimes, and it attaches to your diaphragm, and it even affects your ability to breathe. I bet when this gal's stressed out, she doesn't even breathe.
Dry breathing down?
Yeah, see, I gotta tell her to breathe. Okay, let go. Alright, so now just re-rate the pain, 0 to 10. Better, worse, or no change? This stuff actually works. Weird, right? Well, it's not weird. It might seem like you guys, when's the last time you took both sets of fingers, jammed them in at 45 degrees, in your gallbladder breathe? When's the last time? Never. Why would you ever do that? That's weird, right?
That's the deal.
Yeah, exactly. But even right now, you guys feel like right under your rib cage, just kind of off to the right a couple inches, push up to 45 degrees in there on that right side. And some of you are going to go, oh my gosh, that's really tender. What does the gallbladder do? Bile salts, makes bile, helps break down cholesterol, right? All kinds of things. What does cholesterol make? Here's a better question. What are all your adrenal hormones made from? Cholesterol. Well, cholesterol is bad though, right? It causes heart disease, right? Cholesterol makes your adrenal hormones. What do your adrenal hormones do? Deal with stress. Okay. So you guys start to see how this kind of works. But it's very individual. Thyroid, gallbladder, I'm sure there's some, I mean, I can evaluate all of you in the room, and I promise you there's going to be at least 15 different things going on. So what's the number of your pain right now?
It's different. I feel it, but it's
On
probably
the right side?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's less.
Yeah, so what I'll do, and even more, this is even more strange, but what I will do sometimes is I'll see, will it inhibit her musculoskeletal system? So take your fist and put it over your gallbladder, use that hand for me. Yeah. Slip a little more towards me. Good. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see what that does to her temperature. So right when she does that, she gets a little microperspiration, which you ladies know as a... Yeah, I know what you're getting? Yeah. But how often do you do this? Right? Not very often, but because we're so used to ourselves, all we're doing is now we're highlighting things that she's used to all day long every day. She just doesn't know they're there, right? Like when you guys walk down the stairs at home, you just jam down the stairs, right, left, right, left, right. Do you really think, okay, left? Okay, now I gotta go right. No, your brain's doing that, right? and you trust it to do things like that. You guys ever drive and you don't even know how you got there? You're like, wow, I've been. Okay, you have an unconscious automatic nervous system. Sometimes it's got some really old software that needs updated. Make sense? Okay. So if your software's stuck in low level fight or flight, how's your sleep gonna be? Not so good. How's your structure gonna be? Not so good. Which is gonna cause a lot of things, right? How's your digestion gonna be? When that cheetah is chasing that gazelle, you think it's worried about digesting the sandwich it had for lunch or the, gluten-free bagel it had for breakfast? No, it does not care. So what happens when you're chronically stressed? Better digestion or slow digestion? Okay, so what happens when carbohydrates sit in the barrel too long? Yeah, they ferment into what? Acid and gas. And then what do? They just burn holes and everything. You get leaky gut, and then we just get stuck in the cycle. So for this gal, put your hand back on that spot, stick out your arm, hold strong to me. Don't push. I can still get you to stay strong while you do it. Hold. Strong. Good, not too bad. So you don't lose strength, you just get real redness. When your gallbladder's cranky, it's going to cause pain. And you're going to feel it when you're in those stress patterns, automatic patterns, right? Driving to work. Let's talk about work. How do you like work? How's work going, right? Like, do you understand, the stress patterns there? And so, we know what the gallbladder does, but what can affect the gallbladder besides food and nutrition? How about emotional stress? Yeah. How about toxins and allergies? Yeah. How about electromagnetic? How about allergy sensitivities? How about structure, right? So, first name again? Katrina, is your pain gone? Push again, real quick. No, yeah, we're not down there. Push right there. Don't mess with the cat's mouth, mess with the tail. Push, take a couple of deep breaths. So just walk around like this, don't ever let go, and you'll never hurt again. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Kat. Public thank you. So, yes.
You operate in the area of biophysics?
What's that?
You operate in the area of biophysics as a chiropractor?
Among lots of things. Biophysics, very structural, postural things. Absolutely. Gotta have good posture. But I know people with horrible posture, their backs don't hurt. I know people who do this all day long, every day, and they never have carpal tunnel, right? So all of the things we're told are usually a little bit wrong, unless you have trauma. Okay? If you have trauma and something hurts, that makes sense, right? You grab the hot frying pan and it hurts, it makes sense. You guys got it? So here's the, I'm gonna kind of land this thing because I tend to go all over the place, which is more fun, but I want to make sure I answer your questions. So I'm gonna officially tell you a couple things. One, make sure you have a few gems, at least one you leave here with today. Okay? Like for the thyroid, iodine, make sure iodine sea salt is being used regularly. Okay? Because that's the building blocks of T3, you guys have heard of that? That's triiodide, blah, 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 blah. That's made from iodine. Your thyroid comes to made from iodine. Our soil is not really iodized very well anymore. We've over-farmed everything, so we kind of have to supplement a little bit. We're getting some sea salt. Okay? So if you don't have a few gems, make sure you leave with a few gems and ask me questions. Some of you guys are going to leave with those gems and be fine. You're going to go use some iodine, your neck's going to feel great, and all the other stresses of life are perfect, so you don't need a guy like me. Some of you guys are going to need to come in for that one and done. You just need a little bit more help. Okay, you come see me for a visit. I do my special evaluation where I do all this weird bioelectric stuff, and I do body fat testing and cellular age testing and sometimes salivary hormone testing and all this kind of thing. And we figure out what you ought to do, and you're very disciplined and self-managed, you go do it, right? Some of you guys are a little banged up. You're going to need that 21 days, and then 21 days, and then 21 days, and then 21 days, right? 4 of them, okay? Talk to Linnea about how that works in my office. That's Linnea. Linnea is my right arm, and sometimes my right arm, my left arm, and everything. I'm very, very, very unstructured, so I need people like that to help keep me structured. I just have really, really good ideas, and I know how to apply them to you. I know how to hear what you're telling me through logic, intellect, intuition, and that poker stuff, right? That frequency. Because you might be telling me one thing, but your unconscious mind might be showing me another thing, right? 55% of communication is non-verbal. So you could say, oh, I really want to get well, and you could be full of it, right? You could say, I don't want to get well, and you could be dying to get well. Just we're humans, right? We get stuck in stress behaviors. And then our operating system gets a little wacky, right? And They operate off old computer systems, old iPhone systems. You're trying to run new stuff off old technology. Sometimes we just need to update, okay? So if you want to update, you can see Linnea. She'll get you scheduled to come see me. There are some tonight only kind of bonus stuff because of Elliot's. I like to give some good rewards for people that come to these, okay? But as far as information and my time, I want to give that freely right now. My office is still open, and questions, okay? If you guys need to trickle out, go get some snacks, please do that. We don't need to be so rigid and formal. I'm not offended. If you get up and walk right past me, I'm just going to assume you don't like me. That's all. No, I'm just going to assume, it's a person. But really, ask questions. Who has a question about their neighbor, distant cousin, relative?
I mean, I saw the email, at 4 o'clock.
Yep.
It's a regulator hormone with it, so, like, the mold.
Yes.
I've been trying to figure that out, and no help from 500 whatsoever. You're out of that environment? Okay, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I have no thyroid.
Okay.
Like what she was talking about, it's like, I'm taking little rocks.
Yeah, here's a quick answer to those things. If I knew nothing else about you, I would say, okay, I know mold definitely affects the liver. I know thyroid hormone, 60 to 80% activate your liver and in your gut. So right off the bat, when somebody's talking about overactive immune systems that are just over-responding to molds, that even though you're not exposed, I'd say let's get the liver healthy. What are some ways to get the liver healthy? Here's another gem. Lemon water in the morning. Room temperature lemon water in the morning. Get your liver, it's like an astringent, get your liver moving. Okay, liver's connected to the gallbladder, helpful thing to do. What's the best thing to drink with your meals? Yeah, lemon water. Hot lemon water after your meals. Why? Your stomach's a greasy plate, right? You just put all that oil in there. You want to do the dishes with cold ice water? No. Think about it. You have digestive enzymes, you have a 98-degree stomach, you just put food in it, and then you put ice water down there. What does that do to everything? It just locks it all up. You're not doing dishes with ice water, so you need the soap, which is the lemon, right? We'll squeeze the lemon, and you need the room temperature or hot water. Okay? This is what other countries do that are outside of America and they have healthier digestion. So that's what I would say. Get your liver healthier. You can talk to Ryan and the staff here. They have all kinds of liver enhancing supplements.
Already doing that.
Yeah. Raw cruciferous vegetables. All 3 phases of liver detox. What are your cruciferous vegetables? Cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, kale. I think radishes might be a few obscure ones. So that's what I would say for liver stuff. Outside of that, that gets a little complicated, immune system, things like that. But that's where I would go with that. We had some other hands. Yes, sir.
How do you use testosterone?
Testosterone. So it goes cholesterol to DHEA, to testosterone, to estrogen. So some of the best ways, magnesium supplementation will help testosterone. Zinc are great supplements. The right kind of blood sugar. Because when men's blood sugar is off, you guys know what blood sugar is? It affects insulin, the most powerful hormone in every body here. Insulin. Hands down, most important hormone in every body, insulin. Getting insulin balanced and blood sugar balanced is more important than anything. But in stressed out men, insulin problems, blood sugar problems will tend to take your testosterone and turn it into estrogen. What does that do to man's body? Weight gain, fluid retention, prostate swelling, all kinds of things. Mopey, dopey, depressed, right? Us guys don't do well with that, okay? In a female whose blood sugar is not right, guess what their testosterone, guess what their estrogen does? It goes to testosterone. You'd say, oh, that's great, I can get strong, right? No, you're gonna get skin problems, you're gonna get moody, you're gonna get cranky, you're gonna get agitated. Testosterone is very powerful in the female brain. So, blood sugar, real important. So, the best way to enhance testosterone is regular blood sugar. Low glycemic diet. When Ryan does his keto, mastering keto, you can talk about that, but don't wait 4 weeks or 8 weeks. Go talk about managing blood sugar because it's very personal. There's so many ways to do it. There's supplements, there's diet, and sometimes the pancreas is stressed, like the thyroid or like the gallbladder, and I got to get in there and do some pushing and do some energetic work to get it working. That's where it gets tricky. But in this setting, I'm just going to say blanket statement, get your blood sugar managed. Okay. Best thing to do, go on Amazon or go to a pharmacy, get a glucose starter test kit. You prick your finger and you take your blood sugar number. If that puppy's over 90, you're in trouble. Do it a few days in a row. If it's over 90, it's too much sugar. I'll be right with you. Yes, sir.
Well, I just had a physical. My
glucose isn't my blood sugar, and it's border diabetic.
Yes,
What?
pre-diabetic, insulin
80
resistant.
Is 80 high?
Yeah, it should be.
It's
Ideally,
right
it's
around
60 to
90.
80.
It's right around 90 if I remember right.
Yeah.
But I was just curious on that. But one thing I was noticing on the liver here, I've been losing weight until like the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I noticed on the liver thing it said you're starting to gain weight. I started gaining weight.
Yeah.
And it's weird, my
Right
shoulder
shoulder.
for no reason.
So when the liver
it
gets
started-
stressed, you get ascites, you back up toxic fluid into your abdominal cavity. This is more like the watermelon versus the adrenal belly fat. And then because it's pushing on the right side, you have this big organ here, the right shoulder will start to hurt, jaw, tension, even causing headache. Raw cruciferous vegetables, toxins, we gotta look if we eat too much animal protein, it will stress your liver. So there's all these things. It's very confusing, but I got some videos on my YouTube channel that talk about the body types, all of those a little bit more, and we'll get more advice on there. Just go to Dr. Sean Patterson on YouTube and watch the liver part of that thyroid liver kind of video, and it will talk about some liver specific. You got a question, Doc?
Oh, I a blood sugar issue because I had a spike over 600 today. So that's pretty
It's a
high.
little bit of sugar in the blood, isn't it?
Hey, you know what? I'm eating cereal with no added sugar. I had a banana. I mean, I'm like, I don't know why it would have gone
Well,
up
we
like
gotta
that.
know, what is cereal?
It was
Carb.
It's a grain held together basically by vitamin blue.
Right.
The minute you're chewing it, it's turning into maltodextrin, which is higher glycemic than white table sugar. So when you have high blood sugar, we got to be careful with refined carbohydrates. Yeah.
How to, because I'm trying to do a plant-based diet right now to kind of reverse this process because they told me this next week.
Some people, that will make it worse. Some people need a lot of fat and animal protein to fix that. Some people don't. It gets very confusing.
No, because if I do the animal protein, my range gets tighter,
Yeah.
so I don't have the big spike, but my fasting number goes up. So
Yeah.
I'm totally, and I'm
Well,
trying
that
to
would
figure
probably
out
have
which
something to do with your cortisol levels, because cortisol brings up your blood sugar. What makes cortisol flash in your body? Fight or flight. You gotta figure out what's creating the fight or
Well, I have
flight.
5 kids, I
Yep.
take care of an elderly man,
See?
and I help
Problem
all of
solved.
my neighbors who are medically
Drop
fragile.
them all off with Ryan and go enjoy the weekend. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to officially conclude just so I can honor our time frame here, and we want you guys to enjoy some of this awesome stuff that they gave to us. If you want to be, the one and done and have me do my exam and all this stuff, if you want to be coached, please talk to Linnea. She'll tell you about what the values are this evening that we're offering you guys. If you want to come talk to me about your health stuff, I'm up here. My office is open, okay? Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to stick around and answer questions, okay? Thank you, guys.